defenseman picks it up, passes it up to a forward.
With like 7 seconds to go.
Goes to coast.
You can't camembert. I'm trying to work it out.
I can just go for a little stroll.
Yeah. Cheese.
Max Goof was my first crush. He's a dog.
Are we having fun though?
Yeah.
Living the dream with the boys at Chucky Slick.
That's funny. You're a funny guy.
That would be.
The Edmonton Oil.
Dude, I touched my eye again! It hurts!
Honolulu.
You guys
are so loud for people who are agreeing with each other.
Yeah.
God, I do hate the player. Absolute banger. Breakaway by Icon available everywhere
Banger.
on iTunes and Apple Music.
Here I was thinking, man, what am I gonna say off the top? You know, something Flames related, something related to Ovechkin, kind of getting closer to Gretzky's goal record, and then I just see these two, and I figure, you know what? I'm not gonna talk over that. I'm just gonna let it run.
That was crazy. You guys got like so synced up really quickly. I feel.
It's just who we are.
That's how beats work.
Beats?
Yeah.
In any event,
By Retcon, everywhere.
Rhythm.
hi.
Alex.
We're back for another episode. This is our second and last episode, just the four of us. We would have five here, but unfortunately, Kyle Walker had to bow out earlier today, so we'll have him on next week, ideally, to talk about the Mount Royal Cougars season. But it's going to be a pretty regular show from this point forward. Can I help you with something?
No, I forgot to ask you something before the show started, so.
Do you want to text it to me and then I'll answer in the text?
I can ask you. It's literally about Coast.
What?
Because it's Casey's last show coming up.
Yep.
Do you want to do a trivia show?
Birthday.
So then I have to make.
Does Phil want to finally get
Yep.
the donuts he owes us?
Nope.
What the?
a good point.
Excuse me?
I'm
broke.
Okay, I can get quite.
Yeah, questions for
I know
next
we
week.
don't.
Wait, so we're doing a trivia episode with Kyle next week?
I'll ask him if he wants to come on. Like if he wants,
gonna
if he wants to stay on for trivia.
Oh yeah, we're. I
feel like he's
well,
gonna
to smoke
smoke
you
it.
guys.
Or we could always just do it first and then he joins us. Yeah. If
What
he
I
doesn't
mean,
wanna,
again, like whatever he wants
This
to
is
do.
the last show. It won't. I don't think it'll be on Thursday, so it'll be a different day that it comes out on.
Yeah.
We're still deciding that, as it's our kind of end of the year ceremony next Thursday. So Coast to Coast will still be going on, but will not be on Thursday.
Or at the very least, unlikely will be on Thursday.
Well,
Because we don't have classes, so like if it's
Do it
Thursday
Thursday
morning.
yeah, show up in a suit.
Anyway,
I look very good for that Thursday morning show.
You're dressing up?
For the showcase.
Oh.
It's semi.
Is that what you wore last? Did you dress up last year?
Yeah, I just wore a white shirt, blazer, dress pants, and then like just normal shoes. Semi-formal.
Unless the Hitmen play that Thursday, then I will be wearing my Hitmen jersey.
I will be finding a Hitman a three-piece tuxedo for them.
That would be great. Yes. Like a Don Cherry Hitman tuxedo.
That would
I
feel
think
good
that
that made.
I
Googling
actually
it right now.
think I have a Hitman pin somewhere. Sorry, but I think I have a Hitman pin. I might be able to.
this is getting
He's
this,
buying it right now.
this is getting away from me a bit.
He also just said he was too broke to buy donuts, and now.
Yeah, now he's buying a
there's a
full
difference.
suit. Okay.
All right. Mr. Alex Burko.
So Casey and Phil were at the Stars game last Thursday, where the Flames lost 5-2. Before we get into the actual events of the game, Casey Freeman.
Yes, so I was able. My plan was to ask Matt Duchesne to draw a star for me. So and everything went so well. It was crazy. The
stars aligned.
The stars aligned. The vibes were great. There was like these two. There was like, I was sitting in these seats. I was in these seats of like a guy and his son, but they were really nice. They let me like chill there until Matt signed the star for me. But like vibes were good. These like 11-year-old boys were all becoming friends. They were like yelling at each other over the tunnel where the players will come out, and they were just like befriending each other, and it was so cute. They're like, "Who's your favorite player?" They like asked me like they're like, oh, your jersey is signed. I'm like, it's not, it's just a sticker. And he's like, well, who's your favorite player? And I'm like, Matt Duchene. And he's like, so you like Nashville? It was just really, vibes were great. Vibes were really good. And yeah, so I was right behind the bench because in my head, that's the best place to be if I wanted him to sign something and do this. And then as soon as he saw it, he like waved it over, and I like slid it through, and the equipment guy took it, and it was just chilling there waiting for him. And he signed the star, and he signed his name. He wrote his autograph too. But yeah, as soon as I got the sign back, I was like, what is that star? But it's okay. I didn't want it to look like every other star. It looks
It's a
different.
pretty good looking star.
It looks unique.
It looks good.
So it'll be cool.
Dissing Matt Duchene.
I can't imagine I would assume he would have known it was for a tattoo, but like I didn't write that on my sign, but I don't know what else it could have been for. I literally just wrote, Matt Duchene, please draw a star here.
Oh.
And I put a little square up there for him. But yeah, I just had to get to the point. With hockey players, you kind of just have to get to the point, I feel.
Yeah.
You gotta get pucks in deep.
It was an exciting game for sure. The vibes were good. The dome was kind of buzzing, especially because the Flames scored 4 goals, even though the score was only 5-2. I can see Alex is pulling that up on our monitor. We're gonna talk about it here. But before we get to the disallowed goals, the offense produced, man. It was pretty exciting. 48 shots from the Calgary Flames, which has been a team that we've seen not produce a lot of shots, not produce a lot of goals. Obviously, and yeah, so we'll talk about the goals disallowed. One I kind of agree with. The other I think is insane.
Kind of.
And then we can talk about the other goal that was disallowed against.
I think one was
Utah.
I think one was pretty blatant. I think it was the Tsar.
kick.
The
Yeah,
Tsar
the
one was,
kick was
a very
kind
much
of-
a kicking motion.
It was
It was a kicking motion.
somewhat a redirect.
He moved his foot in a kicking way to redirect the puck.
Yeah. Okay. So that one should be disallowed.
He kicked it.
The second one was called back for goalie interference.
That one I can see.
I don't think it was goalie interference at all. Granted, I was in stands. I was mid-second bowl.
Phil, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think anybody knows what goalie interference is nowadays.
Which is a problem. People, when you have a distinct rule like that swings games like it did in this Dallas Stars game, because we were in there. We played very well. And then you get a goal like 2 goals. The first one fair. The second one, you get that overturned. That's a brutal way to just blow your momentum against a team that, honestly, on paper, you really probably shouldn't be competitive against, and yet we managed to hang. That's all I got.
So this kind of goes into a topic that I'm going to get to later. I'm going to refer back to this kind of moment with the Flames and Stars game. The Zari kind of kick-in goal. Yeah, that's a kick. Absolutely, should be taken off.
It was a good kick.
Here's where I have an issue. Is the Coleman goal. And I have pulled up on the screen here, yes. If you want to show, it's a Calgary Herald article where the ref told Joel Farabee, per an article on the Calgary Herald, I maybe touched him barely, Farabee said. I thought it was outside the blue. I was told that if the shot was glove side, it was a goal. And if it was blocker side, it was no goal.
This kind of aligns with the Islanders a little while ago, like about a week or so before that goal.
Precisely what I'm going to get into later.
Kyle Palmieri's tip.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I think it was the exact, a similar explanation where he tipped it. It wasn't high stick, but it was interference. Oh no, it was because Mers pushed him, but Merzlikins initiated contact with Palmieri.
Yeah.
And then the goal didn't count because he was out of position, even though Merzlikins was the one that moved to push him, not with just his blocker. He went blocker and then glove.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Why does a goal depend on placement?
It doesn't. And I don't fully understand. Obviously, I need to learn a bit more about hockey. I don't fully understand what this means. Like this quote that you have from Farabee. The weight it carries makes no sense to me.
Yeah. So
honestly, there's nothing to understand.
Yeah. What the ref told Farabee inherently makes no sense. But what he's literally meaning is if the puck went in on DeSmith's glove side, that would have counted. But it went in on his blocker side, so now it doesn't count.
But why?
Honestly, it's a really bad explanation for why there wasn't a goal. if I'm being completely honest. It's a terrible reason, and
I don't get it.
it shouldn't depend on the location unless it's like the only time it should depend where the puck was in is on a goal line. If it fully crossed, that's the only time it should matter.
Which we'll get into in a bit.
Which we will get into in a bit when we talk about the Utah game.
Before we get off the Dallas game, because there is the one other big thing that happened, which is Connor Zari's injured again.
Yep.
On the same leg. Super fluky, super brutal collision with Rantanen, who's had a habit in the past few games of taking out Albertans players.
Stuart Skinner being the next one.
Now Connor Zary. Brutal. That really sucked to see, especially live. Connor Zary is such an important part of this team.
Seeing it, I probably wasn't actually paying attention to that corner, but it didn't look like people were getting so mad at Mikko, but it actually looked like it was literally just a fall.
Oh yeah, completely.
But
I have it right
the
there.
people behind me were getting so angry, and I was like, "What?"
Neither of his kind of injury-laying incidents were intentional in my view.
Yeah, he was trying to get out of the way of the Skinner one. I feel
the Skinner one was a complete accident.
Yeah,
and like I was looking at the Skinner Rantanen one, and you could argue that he maybe kind of cut the corner a bit sharp. I'll probably pull it up. I'll maybe pull the video up here just so the other three of us can see it here. But I'll probably ask Maya to leave it off if I do happen to pull it up. But Rantanen kind of cuts the corner a bit too sharp, catches Skinner. Not his fault.
Yeah.
Same thing with Zary.
But this Zary one is he goes for the puck, makes a play for the puck, makes a left-footed turn, blows his left tire, falls down, takes Zary out. Zary is just kind of in a weird position. Luckily, no broken leg for Zary. I think probably the biggest thing, which is why people behind you were probably getting mad, I was probably mad too, there was no call.
Mm-hmm. But the old man behind me who had a lot to say that night was like, slew foot. And I'm like, what? I don't think so.
Slew foot penalties are just drawn into.
They're pretty rough.
And they're not even called anymore, I feel, so.
But, because I feel like we've had this discussion on the show before, is do you take intention into consideration when you're calling a penalty?
Yes.
No.
You do in certain situations.
Depends on context.
You do, depending on the context. In this, even though it wasn't intentional, it was an accident, it still was pretty brutal, and there was no penalty called. I think there should have been.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, like if you want to be like if you want to go like the accident way, you don't mean to high stick anybody. You do just just sometimes.
But like obviously, you can tell by the video, Rantanen didn't mean.
No.
To destroy
and Rantanen doesn't have any
Calgary Flames.
And he doesn't have any history of being a dirty player.
No, except for this Oilers game.
I was watching that Oilers game, and in my head, like obviously Stuart Skinner probably had to leave because he was injured, but in my head he was also like, "Get me out of here." You know what I mean?
Skinner's been out since.
I know, but in my and during that game he was like, "I want off this ice," you know,
rookie,
like no matter what.
The rookie
but
they brought up is actually starting tonight.
So
his first NHL.
So keep this off the screen, Maya, just because I don't really want this to get taken on by Sportsnet if they happen to see it. If someone is watching at Sportsnet, hi, thank you for watching. So I have the angle of the Rantanen and Skinner hit from behind Skinner's net, and I'll just play it on the screen here. Skinner makes a kind of a jumping save. Rantanen cuts the corner a bit too sharp, and his hip runs into Skinner.
It's like the equivalent of when a goalie places the puck behind the net and like gets clipped a little bit.
Yeah, he got clipped a bit.
In that one angle, it doesn't even look like he touches him. Like honestly, in that first angle, I feel
the mustache is still intact. Everybody, everything's okay.
But something
he has to spend a lot of time with his California closets.
Something that came up with my
What?
Something that came up. No, the California closet.
He's in a California closet ad.
Yeah,
yes, he is.
Every commercial break during Flames games.
Yeah, it's either him or Gene.
I don't watch Flames games very often. Gene.
But the thing I wanted to bring up with the Zary injury is I'm starting to get a little bit of Sean Monahan vibes with him now.
In a good way or bad way?
In a bad way, Casey. Because Sean, when he was in town, was routinely injured. Yeah. He was a performing player, but he had hip issues, and at some point that project no longer worked, and now he's with Columbus.
And
doing well in Columbus.
Ironically, he's actually scored tonight.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying that
just a pattern.
Because Zary was injured twice this season.
Yeah.
Hell, Pelliche last season just couldn't seem to get off the IR list for an extended period of time either, and now he's in Philly.
Yeah. I mean,
So I don't know. I'm getting a little bit of Sean Monahan vibes. I'm not saying that Zari's a failed project. I'm just saying that
I think it depends
Monahan
on your
and
team.
Zari has kind of
Because
had the same
I
trajectory
think it
so far.
depends on your team because I'm gonna just with my team being Pittsburgh, obviously.
wait, what?
Yeah, no, really.
That's crazy.
Ryan Rust has I don't think has ever played a full 82 game season ever, and he's a almost 30 goal scorer often.
He's shown no signs of rust.
True.
Hey.
But I think with Connor Zary, I mean, he's still young.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying this.
I'll be honest. When I saw like the first injury this season, I thought his career was over.
Yeah.
The one
Like,
from
that
Minnesota.
was brutal.
Oh, that wasn't him. That was Kevin Ball. Never mind.
And then just getting super unlucky here again. Numbers are difficult. Sean Monahan's 30 years old now. Zary's only 23. He's still got time. He's
said
going
he
to
was
bounce
older.
back.
No,
He's a
no,
kid, right? There's time.
So since our last show, the Flames have lost to Dallas 5-2. They lost to Edmonton 3-2 in overtime. They beat Colorado 3-2 in a shootout,
And then they beat the Utah Hockey Club.
which takes us to the Utah game.
3-2.
And there's okay. This is where I kind of have arguing sides with me here.
With yourself.
Yeah, with myself. Like internally is
Skip
the
over the Oilers game also?
what?
Are we just skipping over the Oilers game?
Do you want to talk about the Oilers game?
I think it was a great game.
What do you want to talk about the Oilers game about?
Oh, I'm thinking of a different game.
Okay.
What am I thinking?
Well, thanks to that game,
Right,
Dallas
go.
clinched a playoff spot. That's what I want to say about that game.
We'll get to the standing. We will look at the standings a little bit later as well. Dallas clinching a playoff spot, Carolina clinching a playoff spot as well. But with the, do you want to mention something from a game before Utah?
What
Before I
game
get
am I
too far away from
thinking?
this?
The one where what game am I thinking?
I don't know.
What
game
is
you
that?
thinking?
What do you describe?
Can
what
you
you're
describe what you're
thinking
thinking?
of?
Lomberg scores and Klopka scores.
The Colorado one.
That was Colorado game.
That was that long ago? I thought that was like yesterday.
What? When was
You
the
realize the Oilers
Colorado
game was
game?
before the
I was
Avs
gonna
game,
say,
yes?
do not think the Flames played yesterday.
It was
Okay,
just.
keep talking.
Was it not just a couple of days ago? What?
I mean, it was. It was
just
it was
on-
less than a week ago.
Monday, Tuesday. I don't know what day it was.
Do you want to talk about the Lomberg and Klopka goals?
I just want to say it was pretty awesome.
I might get a Klopka jersey at this point.
Like Klopka, obviously, like I mean Lomberg, I thought he was much more of a performer than that only being his second goal of the year. Like that's pretty exciting. And against the Colorado Avalanche, who are a cup contending team, and guys that that don't normally step up, right?
Yep.
You look at Lomberg with that goal, and then immediately Klopka gets us tied, and then Yegor Sharangovich in the shootout, right?
And Lomberg and Klopka both with 2 games because they sit on each other's goals.
Yeah, super sick. Super sick.
Yeah, and Sharangovich. Man, it's weird. It's weird what happens when you don't put a defenseman in your shootout lineup. Ryan Huska,
Yeah,
Who started that game?
Vlad, or
I know. Through research, I figured out that Dustin Wolf's weakness is the shootout. High glove, it's not very good. Credit, yes, he beat Pittsburgh if you want to go that route, but it's not. If you're gonna pick something he's not good at, it is the shootout. But again, the shootout's dumb anyway. So
Where can I find that stat to prove you wrong?
what's that?
Is
Wolf
Dustin
shootout.
Wolf good at shootouts?
probably couldn't find it.
AI will give you an answer.
Find it.
That's true. AI would. Anyway, that's all I had to say about that one. So now,
So I'm trying to pull up the Utah disallowed goal, which just further confuses
Oh my-
pretty much Flames Nation.
man, I'm so angry about that.
And it's
That was such a long review process.
run it back. It happened again. Is it in? And once again, yeah.
It was in. Every single camera angle that they played on the broadcast had the puck over the line. Look at that. You can see the sliver of white between the puck and the red line.
Dallas,
Maya,
had,
if you want to show this one, 'cause you
Dallas
can.
had a goal like that the other day in Edmonton also that was called
I don't know
off.
if you can. I
Can
don't
you
know if
like
you can
mega
zoom
zoom
into
in?
that.
No, but can you like double click on your
Like zoom right into where that puck is. You can see
enhance?
enhance. Tap to load in 4K. You can see there is a sliver of white between the puck and the red.
I'm gonna have to close up my computer.
Unless I'm crazy,
Calgary.
that's in. That is a goal. So I don't know if the refs are getting different camera feeds, or Toronto's getting different camera feeds than Sportsnet.
Utah scored the game-winning goal in the next shift.
I see it from my view.
Thanks, Maya.
Thanks, Maya.
That's actually, I didn't know that they scored right after. That's
Yeah, and then they
hilarious.
immediately go and score. And then
That's
they
hilarious.
Get the empty net to get their third.
It is, yeah.
So obviously, go into the third period 2-2, and that's banking on them still getting that goal that they would have got, that they did get immediately after this got called.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different hockey game. So I know you're on Team Tank, Alex, and apparently so is Toronto.
So on one hand, this is what I was
Toronto.
kind of getting to recently, is that
Tank.
like on one hand, like we did get jobbed a bit.
Yeah, that's a good goal.
Put this
Get-
camera
get
in.
him
Yeah, do you
on
want
the
to
ice.
ISO? Yeah.
Get him on the ice right
Yeah,
now.
that's a good goal.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a good goal.
Jesus.
Oh, that's good.
On one hand,
Wait, put me back.
Oh my God. Wasn't that Nas's? Nas had a.
Matthews did it too.
His
so-
goal celebration was that.
This is a little off topic, but in my hockey league, I ended up scoring a goal, and it went in. You could hear it go off like the bar, and then it was called no goal. And I told my coach that I'm like, if I score again, or if I
You're
get another
doing the-
opportunity, I'm gonna mock him. So I'm
Yeah.
on a breakaway. I put it through the goalie's legs, and I make sure you can hear the clunk at the back. I look right at the ref and just go and do like a half spin. And just go.
That's sick.
I didn't get a
Are the
penalty.
refs paid or are they
Yeah.
volunteers?
No, they're paid.
Okay.
But I locked eyes with him, and he pointed good goal, and I just looked at him and went,
That's good.
oh, it felt
That was actually,
it felt
for the
nice.
Dallas game, that the whole arena was doing that.
That was crazy.
And actually at the Hitman game too.
Then, like, the Dallas fans, when Dallas was scoring, were doing that too.
Their arms got tired.
So anyway, with the Flames Utah game, on one half of it, yeah, they did get jobbed a bit. On the other half,
I think you touched.
why are you leaving any margin of doubt? Why are you losing to this team at any point? Why are you letting a disallowed goal decide this game in any way, shape, or form? You are fighting for your playoff lives. Why are you only scoring one, arguably two, against Utah?
Hey,
Well, I mean-
Utah's like
Yeah, they're
not
really-
bad.
They're good.
Utah's had our number, and I'm looking, and Arizona did too when it was Arizona, from what I remember.
All right,
Looking
good.
at the season series, Utah beat us in all 3 games. The first game in October was 5-1. In the January it was 5-3, and now it's 3-1 here in April. Like, Utah has our number, and there's nothing. Obviously, you don't want to rely on those kind of goals, like the fluky, maybe it went in, almost went in, fluky goals. But fluky goals win cups.
And it's a little weird because, and I learned this rule when watching Penguins game, that so one of the players shot the puck and it was covered by the goalie, but it ended up like going into the back of the net.
Yep.
But the whistle was blown.
Sure.
But after review, it was counted as a good goal.
What? The whistle was.
But the
blown.
whistle, but
The
apparently,
whistle was blown before the puck went in.
and it counted as goal, and the game ended like 6-1 for Pittsburgh because it counted.
Shouldn't have.
But apparently, if the puck was continued motion, I don't know. I could be, but I was very.
There's
confused.
probably so many like weird, very specific rules. That
Oh,
we
I'm
don't
sure
know
if you read
about.
the rule book, it gets really
Like-
granular.
Like how long's that rule book?
Not that long.
Put me in my
Oh, really?
office.
No.
Anyway, like I get what you're saying. You don't want it to come down to that, but I don't know. It's a saying. Doesn't matter how it happens, as long as it happens. That was a good goal.
What the?
It was, but I just disagree with.
Dude, it's 100
Like-
pages.
It's a lot of pages.
That's not a lot of pages.
Yeah, that's for leagues rule books. That's not that
That is
long.
not a lot of pages. I've read books more than 100 pages.
That's.
That's surprising.
Is that a brag?
But you can't.
It was my first non-picture
Was
book.
it Junie B. Jones?
How many
Toronto
pages was
still.
of Mice and Men?
But you catch Pamelka like a little bit behind the goal line. You capitalize on it. It's a good goal. If he was an inch forward, it wouldn't be a good goal because it's still the pad is still there, right? So I don't know. Ridiculous.
It's 2004 all over again.
It was
Just
insane.
with less stakes.
It's significant.
2004?
Playoffs. I think with that
Winning the cup, getting into the playoffs.
with that Utah, hey, you got to be in it to win it. With that Utah loss, I think it's going to look pretty tough. Granted,
they massacred my boy.
And if Minnesota and St. Louis stay as hot as they have been, especially St. Louis winning 10 in a row.
Oh my God, what is going on?
Kick them out of the league.
Calgary cannot seem to catch up in the wild card race.
You're not gonna like this anyways. It's a live score, but they're playing Pittsburgh right now, and Rutger McGroarty got his first NHL point.
Okay.
Isn't this like his second or third game? He's pretty new in there, isn't he?
Hey, that's neat.
He played at the beginning, and then he got sent down, and then this is the second game.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, Brian Russ scored an absolute bang, which I was trying to show you.
Great job, Rutger.
I love you, Rutger.
Wait, we're confessing our love on the show now?
Watch this.
They take on the Ducks at 7:30 tonight as well. By the time this episode's up,
Win.
Done.
Win.
That has to be a win.
It has to be a win.
It's definitely it's not a must win because a must win would imply that if they don't win, they're eliminated from playoff connection. It is a can't lose.
If they don't win,
you can't lose this game.
If they don't win, they're pretty much eliminated.
Because
what's going on?
Because they have 2 games in hand on St. Louis and Minnesota, and they're 7 points back. So assuming that they win both of those games they have in hand,
they also play Minnesota on the 11th.
Minnesota. Mm-hmm. I did that at my dinner the other day.
That's probably a bigger one. Is Minnesota.
You lose that Minnesota game, you're done. Because let's look at the schedule. So we got the Ducks tonight. We got
Mike can
Vegas
share the
on
screen
Saturday.
too.
We got San Jose on Monday, Ducks again on Wednesday, and then Minnesota on Friday, and then the Sharks again on the 13th. Technically, it's possible. I mean, Vegas is a good team. Minnesota's obviously a good team, but we can compete with that.
If you're looking day by day, not just at Flames schedule, tonight, the Flames fans are Penguins fans. Flames fans are Utah fans or Kings fans tonight, and that's how you're gonna have to look at it. Kings play Utah.
Aren't the Kings right on us too?
The Kings are above us,
ahead of you. So you're a Kings and a Penguins fan tonight. If you're a Flames fan, so let's say in a perfect world where Pittsburgh beats the Blues, hopefully not, and the Kings beat Utah and the Flames beat the Ducks, that is the perfect scenario for today for the Flames, because that means the Blues don't get any points. Utah doesn't get any points, and you get 2. So assuming that's how it goes, you jump up to 84 points. Blues stay at 89. Does Minnesota play today? I don't think so. No, they do not. So then you're then 2 games.
You're within 5. You're within 5 of both Minnesota and St. Louis. If St. Louis loses today,
you're now at the part of the season where you are cheering for other teams to beat certain teams.
Yeah, and you have a game in hand on Minnesota and 2 games in hand on St. Louis. That game against Minnesota later this month is going to be crucial.
Yeah, just tonight you are a Penguins and Kings fan.
Because you have if you're the Flames here, you have a real chance to chop that down over the next only 8 games left in the season here. You got the Ducks twice, you got the Sharks twice, and you got Vegas twice.
Vegas is the tough one.
If you can beat Vegas 1 out of those 2 times, and you beat Anaheim and San Jose like you should,
I think if we lose the Minnesota game, it's done.
Yeah.
I also think that let's say again, perfect scenario happens tonight. Pittsburgh wins, LA wins, and Saturday another perfect scenario where Colorado beats the Blues, Utah loses to the Jets, and Flames, credits not easy, somehow beat Vegas. That's another perfect world. You go from 84 to 86. You're now 2 games back.
Yeah, I mean Vegas obviously kind of getting themselves in there once again as one of the top teams going into the postseason here.
And I know I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. They're gonna be in the play. If Calgary makes the playoffs, they're gonna be in the playoffs for
a week,
3 days.
A week.
They're gonna be one of those teams. They're gonna be one of those teams that you forgot was in the playoffs entirely.
Yeah, it's gonna be like
trust me. I guarantee you, the Eastern Conference race is more of a joke than anything. It's come to a point where it's like, no, you take it. No, you take the spot.
I think but the
Canadian
those teams, if they make it in the playoffs, they're gonna guarantee sweep. I don't think. I think the Canadians will buy one against the Leafs. I think that's how it'll play out. If it is tonight, that's how it'll play out. They're not going to get swept. Canadians have played good hockey. The Sens have played good hockey. Especially,
It'd
be insane if it was Ottawa, Toronto. In the
I have
first
cut
round.
the Sens out of not making playoffs. Senators are making playoffs, 100%. It's now between Montreal, the Rangers, Blue Jackets, Islanders, and as much as I don't want to say it, the Penguins are still somehow in it.
Has any East teams been eliminated
Not
yet?
yet.
Nope.
I know,
But
that's crazy, isn't
we just
it?
keep winning when we should
Is
be
that
losing.
crazy?
I don't want to be in the
A little
playoffs.
Half the West
8
is
points
gone.
behind with Montreal having a game in hand.
I know, but
I don't think that's going to happen.
but we just keep winning games. That's not what we're supposed to be doing.
Why
This does seem like a pretty good time. Sorry, your question.
why is it like, is Montreal over Rangers because of like games in hand or something
Yeah.
like that?
Whoopsies.
Montreal has one more game in hand on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's by points percentage.
Okay.
But if they, let's say Montreal loses their next game, the Rangers would be ahead of them
the
because they have more wins.
So if we're getting off of the Flames talk, because I don't think there's anything else to mention unless you wanted to.
I had one thing to mention.
Yeah.
Today or yesterday, Adar Suniev signed by the Calgary Flames.
He removes
the
one.
2023 round 3 draft from Calgary, coming from University of Massachusetts. He had 40. Oh no, that's penalty minutes. He had 38 points in 35 games played this season.
And how many penalty
plus
minutes?
or minus 12.
With?
41 penalty minutes though. That's not ideal.
Tom Wilson?
Fun little fact. He played for the Penticton Vs in the BCHL. This was announced earlier. I can talk a little bit more about it when we get to Dub Corner. This is the Penticton V's last season in the BCHL
Because they're
coming up.
Yeah, because they're expanding to the Dub.
Joining the big little leagues.
Yeah.
If we're getting off Calgary talk now, let's get into standings talk. So in the West, the Sharks,
they're
Hawks,
going east.
Preds, and Kraken are now eliminated. No one's eliminated in the East, and I'm quite surprised that it's a real possibility that Boston could be the first
No.
team eliminated
No.
from playoff contention in the East.
I don't want Boston win games, please.
Why?
Because I want Pittsburgh to lose games so we can get a better draft pick. I don't want, why is Boston so good at tanking, and why is Pittsburgh so bad at tanking?
They get Marchand out the door. They get Allmark out the door.
And we bring up Tristan Jarry, who then suddenly plays like Patrick Waugh in 4 games, then gets pulled in 2, and you know what he does in the Ottawa game? You don't know what he does? He gets a shutout. No. Bring him, I want old Jarry back for the rest of the year. I want the Jarry that I've had to deal with for the past 3 seasons of being terrible. I want to lose. I want a good draft pick.
The Bruins also trading out Brandon Carlo and Charlie Coyle this past trade deadline. They were, I think I discussed this with Merrick before the show. On March 29th, they were 7th in the wildcard race, and now they're last.
Dude, I don't.
The last time they were in the playoffs was end of January.
Bro,
Are they on it?
And then they were like buzzing around the wild card race.
Yeah.
Like,
And a 6-game losing
into
streak?
February.
Is that what that says?
They're on a 10-game losing streak.
They're on a 6-game
It's because
losing
they lost
streak.
1 in overtime.
Right there.
But riddle me
crazy.
this. Riddle me this.
So bad.
You're a team that you sold at the deadline. Your goalie is terrible in Tristan Jarry, and you bring up rookies in Rutger McGroarty and Ville Koivunen because your AHL team is good, and you want players to get NHL time because your NHL team is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we winning games?
New blood.
Dude!
Kids are hungry, man. The kids are hungry.
I think it's
Why
exciting
can't
when the kids come up and then they're
Well,
like,
can they
it's
be
playing,
excited?
they're playing.
Can they be good next year? And
They will be. That's
And
the
the-
point
and
of
the Bru-
doing this.
and the Bruins are
How many times? I feel like we've seen this a lot. We saw it with Stankoven. We saw it with a couple other, fresh NHL players that got brought up and immediately started performing.
I feel like Matthew Nyes was one of those too.
Matthew Nyes
Matthew
was one of
Nyes
those.
We saw it with Yakimchuk as well, and obviously that was in the preseason, not in the regular
And yet,
season. but
I will say, yes, Rutger and and Koivunen are playing very good. I want to lose because the next season, when they are going to be on the team,
then they're gonna have another. But then you gotta wait another year for that guy to come out.
Guys, what's it like being fans of bad teams?
Not if he's top 10.
I couldn't
Don't
tell
you
you.
cheer for
Oh
Nashville
my
and
God.
No, me and Nashville do not associate anymore.
Well, it's weird. I don't know. But right now it's 2-0 Montreal over Boston, and I want to cry.
Also,
Montreal.
Can we get-
also in the standings, we've had the clinched teams are now the Jets, Stars, and Golden Knights in the West, and in the East, it's the Caps, Canes, and Leafs.
So,
Do we think? I guess we can do this more on Duck Corner.
can we?
Yes, Casey Freeman, you have a
I saw
question.
something that the last time that the Leafs clinched playoff spots like 9 years in a row was in 1967 when they won the Stanley Cup. So the Leafs are winning the Stanley Cup this year. That's what's gonna happen.
I'm just gonna put this
It's
out in
gonna
the
happen.
air. People think the 2004 draft was rigged for Pittsburgh to get Sidney Crosby. Can we do it again?
2005 draft.
Can we do it?
Boom.
we do it
Roasted.
again?
You didn't even
So
know
you
what
can get
Sydney.
Matthew Schaefer
Or Michael Misa?
Why did you
or
say
Michael
like that?
Misa. Like,
And then we'll
it's
they're
not
also
like,
very good,
or
Phil.
just take Ben Kindle. Like, we're
Well, if
not
the
we're
Ra-
not looking at an all-star draft here this year.
No, that's next year, I think.
Next year's Gavin
With
McKenna
Gavin McKenna.
and
I
Hunter
think
Aura.
I think
Macadamia.
Pittsburgh's going to be competitive next year, which sucks.
But right now, so I'm just
Can we
looking
give him
at this.
exceptional status to the NHL?
Sorry?
Can we give McKenna exceptional status? Can we sign him?
I feel like that's not how that
It's
works.
not.
Can we find
Who
a
gets
role?
that? Has somebody got that before?
Exceptions that's in the NHL?
Yeah.
We don't
What does
need
that
it. It's
even
called
mean?
Being drafted
No,
first.
it's not.
Okay,
It's a
okay.
joke. I think Gretzky did way back, but nothing.
Like when he was a kid before he was in the
You're
NHL?
drafting 17, 18-year-olds here.
I know.
Like,
I was joking.
that's as exceptional status as you can get going into the NHL. The NHL doesn't pick exceptional status. Going straight from your draft year into playing in the NHL. I feel like that's what
I made a
counts as
joke.
exceptional status. But so I'm looking at
Yeah,
this.
this was. I didn't make a joke, Phil.
Shut up. I'm looking at this 2025 mock draft done by mynhldraft.com, so I have no idea how accurate.
Monkey, where's that monkey honky one?
Right now, you are drafting 7th.
Yeah.
Which gets you Roger McQueen, or now after the activities that have happened in
Lightning
the WHL,
McQueen.
could also get you Ben Kindle.
We might act. Well, what is Kindle like a mid rounder? Mid
He's
first?
looking right now, according again to mynhldraft.com. Right now, Ben Kindle would go 15th to the Vancouver Canucks.
So
That's going to
Nice.
you know the Rangers draft pick.
Oh my God.
If they end up being 14th in the draft, Pittsburgh gets it. So ironically,
The shots.
we actually could end up drafting Ben Kindle if the Rangers start winning games.
Well, this one right now has the Rangers drafting 11th.
Yeah, that's where they are now. But if they win games,
Yeah. Calgary
Also-
Flames drafting 20th.
also Michael What the?
I only take stats
Yeah,
from Hockey
if,
Monkey.
if you said Michael Misa was terrible, this
I never said that.
okay. Well, he has 60. Okay, just think of this. He has. That can't be right.
I never said that.
He
Let
has
me look at it.
65 games played, 62 goals, and 72 assists.
Yeah, Misa's good.
I beg your pardon?
I think it's kind of crazy that right now everyone has Schaefer going over Misa. Misa's going to be on the list.
Hey, Misa should drop to like 7th.
He won't.
I know.
You never know. Although, like, I feel like a lot of these guys are pretty evenly matched.
There's also
Like,
like the lottery aspect of the draft. Like it's not like
That's true.
it's not like the NBA or the MLB. I think they do it where it's like if you're dead last, you get picked one. Like Pittsburgh could go from 7th to 4th. Like that's just the lottery. That's what happened to Chicago with Bedard. Bedard was Chicago was projected to go pick second, and Anaheim was projected to go first. But then
Who almost got the pick though? Wasn't in the draft? Wasn't the ball like right there? Was it the Maple Leafs? Would the Maple Leafs?
No.
They wouldn't have been. Who was? Somebody was really close, and
How
the ball
funny would
was
that be if they did
literally
the cup and it's like, oh, you
almost
got
there,
this
but
one?
then it was like switched out with Chicago.
like,
But I'm forgetting who it was.
That could have been Ottawa. They were kind of bad.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. But yeah, I was like
so
right there, and then it was
we were talking. I don't know if you want to segue into a different thing.
Just real quick before we jump off of standings, Matt, if you want to share my screen, we have 2 potential clinching scinarios for
my
in the
God.
NHL tonight.
They're so
The Lightning
complicated.
could clinch their spot if they beat the Sens in any fashion,
They are
and
currently
the
down 2-1.
Avalanche can clinch their spot if they beat the Blue Jackets in any fashion.
They are currently up 2-1.
Obviously, there are more conditions to that as well, but we are running low on time now, so I'm not going to get into them. You can read them there.
Yeah, I know.
we beat
So obviously with the goal chase going on, big Gretzky record. There was another one broken a little while ago by my favorite player. Sidney Crosby is now the most consistent player in the NHL, having 20 consecutive point per game seasons. From 18 to 37, he has gotten a point per game season every year, including his concussion years.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I thought it's pretty cool.
Wait,
It's,
are you telling me that Sidney Crosby's good at hockey?
yes. And,
Slow down. Who are we talking about?
Yes,
Breaking news.
Back
And
up.
I feel
Who's
like
that?
Who that?
I'm gonna say a hot take, and I don't think it's. I think Sidney Crosby's top 3 NHL player all time, and I think he is number 3. Number 1 is Gretzky. And number 2 is Lemieux.
Fair enough.
Everyone say their top 3. Okay.
Okay, I just did. Kind of just did.
Casey, let's hear your top
Let's
three.
hear your top 3.
Matt Duchene,
Chase DeLeo.
Chase DeLeo in his 6 games played in the NHL.
I don't think that's outrageous to say, though.
No,
I think saying
so
Sidney
either.
Crosby's top 3 all time is not outrageous.
No.
Sidney Crosby's obviously on
The GOAT.
Mount Rushmore for sure. Like, but
for
obviously
yeah.
Alex Ovechkin 3 goals to the record that everyone actually cares about.
I also have a weird take with that. I feel like if he doesn't
you
hit,
do.
I feel like he doesn't hit it this season, it's still gonna be
He's got
massive.
7 games.
No,
to hit
I
it.
do
He's
get
gonna
that.
hit it.
It's deflating.
I am praying it's not against Pittsburgh, but it's going to be against
I hope it's
Pittsburgh,
against Pittsburgh.
because of the whole
It
Crosby
has to
thing.
be against Pittsburgh. It's so
But
romantic.
he does play. They do play Chicago twice.
They play Chicago on the 4th,
Islanders coming up. That's the next
then
game.
Islanders, then Canes, then Jackets again.
Oh, yeah, they play
back to
the
back,
Canes again.
and then Islanders, and
And
then
then-
Penguins.
I
I think he does it before Penguins.
I'm really hoping he does
Probably,
it before Penguins.
I like.
But hot
it's
take?
It's Chicago. Maybe he's just gonna
That's
drop
what-
a 3
Yeah.
on Chicago.
Remember when we were guessing about Connor McDavid's points, and
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
was like, in 2 weeks, and me and
Just
Phil were like,
done
the
it.
next day, and we were right.
So my hot take is I feel like while it's still going to be an incredible record, and I will think, and I'm going to stand by that. It's going to be very weird to have it like if he does like 1 or 2 goals away, he doesn't get it this season, but then next season he does it in like the 3rd game.
I don't think there's a universe where he doesn't do it this season.
I do think he's going to do it this season, but how like isn't that kind of weird if he does it next season, like game 3 it's like, oh, you broke the Gretzky
But
record.
I think too. You asked me last season if he's gonna do it. Like he should have done better last season. I think so.
Well, yeah,
like
the
if
Capitals
anything, it
too,
would have been like that this season. I feel. The Capitals made playoffs
Like,
last year. Okay.
What's
But-
so funny with like this is there's been 2 goalie goals this season, and I don't think people remember who. One was in January and one was in October. Can you name the goalie that scored in October?
Someone that starts with an L.
Gustafson.
Never mind. I guess someone can.
Was
And
I
then
was
the
I
other-
right?
No.
They
It was
didn't start-
Nedeljkovic and
Okay,
Gustafson.
there's an L in there.
So
Gustafson.
if Alex Ovechkin ties the record
Penny
against the
Fernandez.
Islanders,
Who is that?
You're doing the Gretzky game stat?
yeah. So if Alex Ovechkin not breaks the record but ties the record against the Islanders on April 6th, he will have the same goals in the same amount of games played as Wayne Gretzky.
What?
So if he does it before that, like I said, if he gets a hat trick on Chicago,
Which is possible.
which is possible, it's Chicago, then he does it quicker than Gretzky did.
Russian machine never breaks. March 15th wrote an article about
Oh wait, they what though?
what goalies or which goalies Alex Ovechkin had not scored against.
So yeah,
One of them is current Islanders goalie Ilya
Sorokin.
Sorokin.
They don't play.
Oh, that would be
They don't play
brutal.
They also don't play the Islanders next. Like I thought they did.
These
No,
are,
no,
this
no,
is
no,
who he
actually.
hasn't scored
This is who he
against?
has not scored
Who
against.
the heck is Manny Fernandez?
No, Manny Fernandez, former Minnesota Wild.
Never heard of him.
Casey, they do have like goalies that are like young. Like they have the Penguins.
Is he young?
Bloomquist.
Manny Fernandez? No,
Yeah.
he played in like the early 2000s.
Okay.
But like if you scroll, like Devin Levi's young. Like I'm sure you'll find.
Michael Neuwirth, Mike Condon,
Yeah.
Matthew
Oh,
Garon,
Is
Michael.
Wolf on there? No.
There, see Joel Blomqvist. He's played him once.
Manny
I think.
Legacy,
How many times has he
Kevin
played
Lankinen. He's played him three
Garrett
games
Sparks.
and 11 shots
How do I
saved.
know? Why do I know that
Good
name?
for you,
Dustin Wolf's
Blomqvist.
not on
Dustin
there.
Wolf's not on here now.
Ah.
Braden Holtby.
Oh my God.
Hey,
Hey,
Braden Holtby.
Braden
That's a
Holtby.
throwback. Take me back. Curtis Joseph, Cujo.
Yeah, but Ilya Sorokin on this list,
Stolarz.
and he could very easily come right off that list.
Who?
Sorokin.
And could
Oh, yeah.
be the one that breaks the record.
But you got to remember, they play each other more because they're same division. So you play them 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he hasn't been scored on, he hasn't scored on Sorokin, is kind of surprising. Like Blomqvist, whatever, that's 3 games, but like, that's pretty impressive. Now, would you guys say like? I think again, this is probably not that much of a hot take. The NHL will never have a better rivalry than Crosby and Ovechkin.
Never's a strong
Connor
word to
Bedard
use.
and the Chicago Blackhawks. Oh.
Wow.
The only reason I say that, the only reason I say the Crosby and Ovechkin one is because that rivalry not saved, but also revolutionized the NHL.
There was documentaries about it. Literally, there's like documentaries about it. You could
There's-
get books on it.
There's
Like,
literally a game
It's crazy.
that's like it's literally was Crosby and Ovechkin because it was a dueling hat trick game.
Oh,
It's literally like they
that was a
they
crazy
saved
time.
the NHL in a way and revolutionized the game because of their rivalry, and now like they're like buds, which I think is kind of cool.
Fair enough. All that talking, we've forgotten that there's some postseason hockey going on. The
Yeah.
Calgary Hitmen.
Do you want to? I guess that. Yeah.
Unless
Let's
there's
go
something else
Hitman.
we got to talk about.
Yeah. Let's go Hitman.
Calgary Hitmen.
How are you doing?
How are you doing? The only team in the WHL to pull off a sweep. The only team that remains undefeated in the
so many
WHL post-season. The Calgary Hitmen.
Someone says you want
down.
more?
Oh my god. You're trying too hard.
Those are too easy. I don't have any other ones.
Okay.
You're
Oh, but we can get 2 more. Okay, I'm
Two
done.
has not played a game yet, but nice try.
Tuna.
Calgary Hitmen take down the Saskatoon
T-
Blades in 4 games. The scores being 4-2, 5-1, 4-1, and then a whopping 6-2 just yesterday with Ben Kindle getting that hat trick. Obviously, one of them was an empty netter, but still very exciting. Some amazing, amazing goals all over the place. Ethan Moore's been on the board. Yakimchuk's been on the board. Dave Adazinski has been out on a tear, playing true playoff hockey, throwing hits anywhere he can, and that's pretty exciting. Yes, Mary.
I got some cool stats about the
Bring
Hitmen.
it.
So best goalie in the playoffs is Anders Miller with a 1.5 goals against average. For points, Gavin McKenna with 14.
Fair enough.
But Tanner Howe, 5th in playoffs for points with 9.
Yeah, Tanner's been killing it. He's been a really important part
Anders-
of the team.
Miller is 2nd in save percentage with a 0.933, and your buddy Ben Kindle 5 goals,
Yeah.
only behind. I'm not even gonna try to say that name.
Ozzy?
Ozzy
Or
Weisblatt.
Weisblatt,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Weisblatt coming from a huge line.
Miller obviously has the most wins.
Crazy dynasty of hockey. That
And
family
then-
is like 5 brothers all playing hockey. Sister is like a competitive swimmer.
Reminds me of the NHL Alexiaks.
Jamie and
Jamie and
Penny.
Penny.
That you have an NHL.
More people know Penny on that. No, I think. in Canada at
True.
least. The White House,
What?
one of the brothers played a couple games.
Yeah, I think he's playing for Nashville again.
Yeah.
Like tonight. I think
Which
he
is
was just
pretty-
called up.
Oh, no,
Again.
that's-
Like he's been up and down.
I beg your finest.
What
pardon.
is that? What was that?
Matthew
A
Shane?
plant just fell off.
Matthew Shane. I thought you were in Nashville.
That was scary.
Go back.
Wow.
So
Like Minnesota.
So
Sorry.
the Hitmen swept the Blades, and they're gonna face looks like the winner of the Hurricanes and the Wheat Kings.
Not necessarily. So with
Do they reseed?
they reseed.
Okay,
So
might be.
if the Canes win,
Might
we
be.
play the Canes, and then I'm not sure what happens if they don't win. Right now, that series is 3-1 though, and the Canes are the better team than the Wheat Kings. The big news though, and the inspiring thing is here: the Calgary Hitmen swept the Saskatoon Blades 4-0 with our backup goal.
Oh, I have an answer to your question. For the playoff format.
Okay.
Okay.
Just says the first place team, blah, blah, blah. Clubs advancing to the second round and conference championships will be reseeded each round based on regular season points.
So yes, we reseed.
He just said we received.
Sorry, my apologies.
But
It's
yes.
I've never seen something like that, so
So yeah, we do that with our back. They do it in the NFL. What are you saying?
yeah, but not when you win. When you go into the next round, they don't reseed.
Well,
They just go
okay,
against
so-
the next team.
So it looks like the Oil Kings are gonna beat the Raiders anyway.
Which
Then
is sick.
it'd be Tigers Oil Kings.
Which is ideal.
So you're facing the winner of Canes or Wheat Kings regardless.
And it's looking like
Because the Raiders are the higher seed.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That means you play Yankees.
That's
So
crazy.
so as of right now, it's going to be either Hurricanes or the Wheat Kings. Are you worried about extended rest if you're the Hitmen?
No, we're fine.
Okay.
We'll be chilling.
All right.
I think it's gonna be obviously Anders Miller has proven himself that he's killing it right now. Once we get Daniel Hauser back in, oh
Is
boy.
he injured?
He's like day to day.
Oh, okay, okay.
He should be back pretty soon.
There's only
here.
one. There's only one game on tonight. Spokane Chiefs.
Spokane.
Chiefs
Spokane.
versus Vancouver.
Spokane. Don't even get me started on
I
that.
didn't even get to see their team, I guess, and I got it right.
Don't even get me started on that. It doesn't abide by any English speaking language that you would speak that it's Spokane. With an E, it's a long A, so it's Spokane.
It's not English.
What is it?
Is it not?
American? Like, but it just doesn't make sense.
So do you think you're?
But I don't think so.
So,
I guess so. They don't abide by English.
They have their own language.
So
I know that,
hypothetically-
but like I before E except after C is only in the English language, not in French.
Yes.
hypothetically here,
Yes.
I would put my money on the finals being Medicine Hat versus Calgary.
I think that's a good place to put your money. Edmonton Oil Kings, that's surprising that they're beating PA.
But obviously, we saw in the last time they played, the Hitmen lost. What do you think?
They played terribly in that game.
What do you think needs to change, or what do you think is like the big factor to having the Hitmen end up in the Memorial
As
Cup?
they're playing right now, nothing needs to change.
Fair enough.
They're playing so well, such smart hockey, aggressive hockey. The one thing that's been missing the last few times the Calgary Hitmen have made playoffs, which hasn't been for a couple of years, is they couldn't figure out how to play aggressive, fast-paced playoff hockey. They were lacking the hits. They were small. They're not lacking that right now. They are going hard. And it's awesome.
And dude, we have my favorite team's got a future really good prospect coming up. So
absolutely. And then whoever drafts Ben Kindle, obviously he's still.
How funny would that be if he does come to Pittsburgh?
That would be crazy, and I would be really upset. But
we'd have an honorary Penguins fan on the show.
Probably. If he right now he's guessed about still around 20th. Obviously, hat trick in that last game. He's been very important for all 4 of those wins. He's gonna
Who do you not want him to go to? Of all, like, pick 3 teams. Pick 3 teams you would be like absolutely disgusted if he got drafted.
Anaheim, Chicago, Pittsburgh.
Buffalo, St. Louis, and
I think there's an obvious one.
Edmonton.
There's the obvious one.
Yeah, I would.
Sorry, what were yours?
Anaheim, Chicago, Pittsburgh.
I feel like 2 of those would
Chicago
be.
Too.
I feel like those would be perfect to go into. Or Chicago. Chicago's got nobody. You get playing time.
Chicago sucks.
Yeah, but like from a reputational standard, I don't want them being rewarded
Fair.
anything.
Why not Pittsburgh? Or is it just because of me?
Yeah, just because you.
Fair enough.
Just because I'm jabbing.
Some upsets.
I would totally rub it in too, by the way.
Oh, I know you would.
Game's the game.
Some upsets looking on the western side of the bracket. The Seattle T-Birds are up 2-1 on the Everett Silvertips. Everett Silvertips obviously won the whole season.
They won the season?
For the WHL.
Yeah.
With Landon DuPont, who's going to be the first overall draft pick in 2027.
All right.
Oh my God.
Future Penguin.
And then Portland Winterhawks right now beating Prince George Cougars, who are the number 2 seed.
Ew, that's gross travel. I feel like that is nasty.
Portland to Prince George.
Who's
Sorry, they just all seem pretty close. They're like a little border away, but that one is gross, I feel. But do they stay in whatever? Like all the games are in one spot though, like the AHL. They travel. Oh my God.
It's kind of like, well, it wasn't like the last year's Stanley Cup Finals like the longest traveled ever
in history. Yes, I believe so.
Who are they playing?
Florida.
Edmonton and Florida. Yeah, because I know Vancouver and Florida would be the longest
the only
travel.
longest one would be Florida, Vancouver. But we all know Vancouver won't make it anytime
That's a super helpful.
What did you?
From, Google Maps.
What?
It's a 278-hour walk from Prince George to Portland, Oregon.
Dude, that's a long walk. Figure that out for so long.
Guys, how many days is that?
A bit over 10 days, 3 hours.
Oh my God.
Well, hey.
Oh, my bad.
Get going.
It is a 12.5-hour drive.
Get going.
The center of Prince George to the center of Portland.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Let me tell you, from multiple 12-hour drives, no. Not fun.
Let me tell you from multiple 24-hour drives, 12-hour drives.
24-hour drives?
No, that's bad.
No. Let me tell you from multiple 12-hour drives. It's off.
That's okay. That's okay.
Let me tell you.
We definitely don't have more topics to get to in our last 5 minutes. Let's just keep doing this recording thing.
Have you ever been on a 12-hour drive?
I've been on a 13-hour drive.
Me too.
Let me tell you.
Actually, my 12-hour drives turn into 13-hour drives very easily.
Well, let me tell you.
Anyway, the Calgary Hitmen look pretty unstoppable. Lethbridge will probably put up a bit better of a fight to us than Brandon Wheat Kings are. I honestly did not expect us to sweep Saskatoon going into the series, but after that first game, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be over. And I'm glad.
Did Cooper Williams play good?
Don't have to get my shift covered tomorrow. So that's fun. Go Hitman.
Hitman.
Okay, so 4 minutes left. Do we want to talk about
Mitchkov?
do we want to talk about the Calder Race, or do we want to talk about the NHL signing a long-term agreement with Sportsnet?
The Calder Race.
The Calder Race. So Lane Hudson is 3 assists away from breaking the most assists for rookie defenseman in a season.
What?
Sorry, he's 3 away from tying the record, 4 away from passing.
I
might have the record.
Larry Murphy with the Kings.
And that's crazy. Another
That's
Montreal.
at 60 assists.
Another Montreal Canadiens right there.
Yeah, he just passed Chris Chelios this past week.
I'm gonna pull up
Chris
a stat that
Chelios
is going.
hot?
What the? that I'm going to
Currently,
piss off
no.
a lot of Montreal fans.
But along with that race, since John Tortorella has been fired from the Flyers, Michkov's been getting more ice time, and he has 7 points in the past 3 games.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's been a stud.
I think Dustin Wolf's going to get it.
I don't think there's no clear favorite. This is the
That's
problem.
cool, though.
This is the problem with there's 3 finalists and there's 4 legitimate options for Calder. It's going to be a shame that one of these guys is going to be cut out. That's kind of the name of the game,
I
though.
think right now it's going to be Dustin Wolf that gets cut out.
I think it is too.
What? Who's the third person?
Celebrini.
Celebrini been unbelievable.
Celebrini's going to win it.
Just because he's a little cutie.
Bedard won it last year.
No, but Celebrini
No.
actually deserves. if
And
he
he's
wins,
happy.
he wins.
He's not depressed.
I don't know, but break it.
I mean,
Break.
he just got his car ran into by the
Oh my God!
but
he
getting
got
the-
hit by a bus.
After losing 6-1.
Getting the most assists from rookie defenseman in a season, I think, is. I think should give Hudson the Calder.
Yeah.
But again, Canadian bias. People in New York don't really like us too much. What?
To piss off Montreal fans, Lane Hudson has 30 secondary assists, which apparently is like really bad, and people like play down to it. And Evan Bouchard has 33 secondary assists, which is also a thing people like look down upon him on. I just wanted to,
Because they're secondary?
no, just like it's like a stat padding for secondary assists.
I mean,
But then,
it's
like-
still part
That's
of
how they do it, though.
I mean,
But,
this
like,
isn't Angel Reese catching her own rebounds. This is
it. People,
like
that's crazy.
I was gonna say, like, for forwards, it's Eichel, Bratt, Keller, then McKinnon, Stützle, Kucherov, Crosby, Draisaitl, Duchesne, and Strome. Like,
yeah, but so people.
Oh my
get mad-
God!
they're still elite players.
People get mad about secondary.
He's so
assists and go
good.
Crazy on plus minus.
He's so good.
Like,
yeah.
Oh my
secondary
God.
assist means more than plus minus.
Plus minus is crazy.
I just wanted to bring up the Calder Race just because it's getting really tight and
That's
Mitch Cobb's
exciting,
now
though.
Mitch Cobb's making it a little more interesting.
Mitch
again.
Cobb's making it interesting since he's kind of blowing up now.
I wish he wasn't, because then Dustin Wolf would probably still get a nom.
Mind you,
Yeah.
I feel like last year.
We talk about this.
What was I going to say?
I don't know.
Last year was like, we would have not said Connor Bedard should got the Rookie of the Year,
I
but he
was
did.
saying Connor Bedard should have
anyway.
gotten it.
Whoa, we did say that.
We did.
I
say that.
wouldn't have.
Said Stankoven, I think, didn't I?
Oh yeah, I did too. I think I said that this
said-
year. I think
No, who did I say?
That's not good for the mic.
Who did
that's
I
not
say?
good for your nose.
Who?
But no, I just feel like last year also there was probably a close race for it too. But then it just automatically went to.
Bedard, Faber, Luke Hughes. I was
unbelievable for the effing Islanders. He's so good.
I was saying Faber towards the end of the season
That's-
there, just
that's-
because
yes.
he was at very least in the conversation, which I think
like-
should have had a bit more weight.
If we look at like this, there's literally half the time there's no argument. Like
Maya, if you wanna
Bedard,
share it.
yes, makes sense. Beniers, sure, that makes sense to me. Cider over Zegras and Bunting, what? Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I thought
Kaprizov, yes, over Robertson and
am I looking
Nedeljkovic.
But that I think because he was.
Stankoven not even get a nom.
But that was the thing because Kaprizov
No,
was really old
he
at
was-
the time too.
Like last
True.
year, he
Then
was
McCarr, then
very
Pe-
new
But,
last year, like halfway
what
through
the
the
Calder
season.
should represent is elite players who are
Stankoven's
young
not
and
this
can
year.
still be elite.
Yeah,
Bedard
he could
is
be up for
elite.
this year.
Beniers, Cider can be elite. Kaprizov is elite. McCarr is elite. Pedersen can be elite sometimes. Barzell can sometimes be elite. Matthews is elite. Panarin is elite. Ekblad, meh. McKinnon is one of the best players in the NHL. Huberdeau was elite. And if you like, and
Still better this year.
if you scroll down a little bit, most of the players you will find for Calder are like Landeskog stud. Like you're gonna find just good players.
Okay, so let's get Dustin Wolf back in the conversation here.
Okay.
Because Dustin Wolf's obviously already being touted as he's going to be one of the best goalies in the NHL.
If the Flames make the playoffs, he needs to be at least a finalist.
But
And then he
making
also
playoffs
needs to be
doesn't.
nominated for MVP.
Playoffs don't mean anything when it comes to individual awards.
MVP in our heart.
It's an in-season trophy, and if he in the season drags his team to a playoff spot, that deserves the Calder. That deserves
think-
Calder finalist to me.
in my
I think
opinion-
Ladar's doing a lot of heavy lifting right now as well. Like Wolf has been
Iffy.
He's struggled in the last week or two.
He has.
And
He's
Ladar's been playing great.
MVP, in my opinion, should go to Connor Hellebuck, which won't happen because it's a goalie.
That's a quick shift to the
Sorry.
Hart
We were talking about
or Ted Lindsay.
If we make playoffs, give the MVP to Wolf.
No.
Yes.
I
Give
could
the
pull
Calder
up-
to Wolf.
Yes.
Both.
I would if you. I can
Give him
compare.
Vezina.
I could give you Hellebuck and Wolf stats, and Hellebuck's would be like, wee, and Wolf's would be like...
But Hellebuck has a good team in front of him.
Yeah.
Hellebuck is also half the team of Winnipeg.
Wolf has a literal bottom 5 team in front of him.
It's kind of fun to look at this Calder list. Panarin was a Blackhawk. I forgot about that. And both him and Gostisbehere finished ahead of McDavid and Calder votes, which I find kind of funny.
That's what should have happened to Bedard. But no, because McDavid lost because he got hurt. That makes sense.
Where did Dominic Kubalik go? He was a Calder finalist and poof.
Dude, I mean, Alex Nedeljkovic was a Calder finalist.
Where did
Same with
Jordan
Michael Bunting.
Binnington go? Oh.
Whoa. Hey, that's a good goalie. That's my Canadian goalie.
He won a cup that year.
He could like stop.
Did Matt Murray? Did Matt Murray ever win one?
A Calder?
Yeah.
No.
That's a shock. He won his first 2 years as a rookie was 2 cups.
Rip Aaron Ekblad.
But that's
Strip him
also-
of his Calder trophy.
His first 2 seasons were things that don't happen in the season. Why wasn't he nominated for this in-season trophy?
I guess.
Is what you just said.
Isn't he the one taking the drugs?
He took the drugs. Yes, Ekblad did.
Oh yeah.
We should probably wrap this up, considering it's now
So on the note of
7:02,
drugs, don't
and
do
we
them.
have to get going.
Jake Neighbors
Next
scored.
week
I mean, yes,
is
good.
our last show with the 4 of us, and hopefully 5 of us if Cal's able to make it out.
And I have trivia. And
It'll
it's gonna be a
it'll
blast.
be a long show. It's trivia. It's possibly playoff predictions like it was last year.
and then it's
Coast to Coast
isn't going away.
No, it's not. But the
I am.
last year
You'll
when we
never
did
see
this,
me
when we were in the studio
again.
for the first time, we did playoff predictions. So we'll probably do that again, assuming that it's a bit more solidified.
All I remember is I was very wrong.
But that is it for this week. I've been as always Alex Verco with Casey Freeman,
Boom.
Merrick Robinson,
Oh.
Phil
What the
Tremblay.
heck?
Get on the Hitman train.
And we'll
Let's
see you
go.
guys. We'll see you guys next Thursday for our last in studio show with all of us. Have a great week. We'll see you guys
Oh my God.
next time.